Hello, my dear. We studied before the zero conditional and the first conditional. Today, we'll study together the second conditional. But first, I want you to look at this picture. Jack wants to buy a house, but he can't do this because he doesn't have any money. Look at him. He doesn't have any money. So, he says here, if I had a lot of money, I would buy a big house. We have if at the beginning here, had, this is past simple, comma in the middle, would plus the bare infinitive verb buy. Another sentence. Susan wants to phone Paul, but she can't do this because she doesn't know his number. So, if I knew his number, I would phone him. We started with if, knew is in the past, a comma in the middle, would plus the bare infinitive verb phone. So the second conditional is a type of the rule if, in which we link two sentences together. The first one here next to if is in the past simple tense, which is the if clause, and the second one, the main clause, is using here would plus the bare infinitive verb. Again, if plus past simple tense, comma, would plus the bare infinitive verb. If I had a lot of money, comma, I would buy a big house. If I knew his number, comma, I would phone him. I would phone him. And of course, I can start with the second sentence. And in this case, we will put if in the middle, and the sentence which is in the past simple tense will be at the end. I would buy a big house if I had a lot of money. And in this case, we don't use the comma. I would phone him if I knew his number. Okay, so what is the difference between the first conditional and the second conditional? Both of them are in the present time. Both of them are in the present time. But the first conditional, the situation is likely to happen. In the second conditional, the situation is unlikely to happen. Because if you look here, the man doesn't have any money in the present time. So how would he buy a big house? In the second sentence, she doesn't have his number in the present time. So how would she phone him? So again, the first and the second conditional, both of them are in the present time, present situations. But the first conditional is likely to happen, and the second conditional is unlikely to happen. But both of them are in the present and the future. We have many sentences here using the second conditional. We use the second conditional for imaginary situations in the present or future. Imaginary here, it means unlikely to happen. It will not happen. And the structure is if plus past simple, and the other sentence using would or wouldn't plus the bare infinitive verb. And if we start with the sentence with would or wouldn't, we put if in the middle, and the sentence which is in the past simple tense will be at the end. In this case, we don't use the comma. Let's read together. If I won $1 million, comma, I would buy a new car. The situation is in the present. But how can I win $1 million? So the situation is unlikely to happen in the present or in the future. We can start with, I would buy a new car if I won $1 million. And in this case, I wouldn't use the comma. If I were you, I would quit smoking. And in this sentence, I just want to say something. With giving advice, we use were with all of the pronouns. I, he, she, it, they, we, you, all of the pronouns we use were in giving advice. With the unreal situations, okay? Unreal situations. With all of the persons, we use were. If I were you, I'm giving advice now. I would quit smoking. It means you shouldn't smoke. Please stop smoking. Look here. If I were the president, I would lower taxes. Of course, I'm not the president and I can't be the president. So this is an unreal situation. So again, with giving advice and with unreal situations, impossible situations, we use were instead of was with all of the persons. Because as you know that when you were in primary 2 or 3, we said that I was, he was, she was, it was, they were, you were, we were. But with the second conditional, we use were with all of the pronouns, all of the persons, with giving advice and unreal situations. Let's look at this example. They would stay longer if they had more time. Here we linked using if in the middle, so we didn't use the comma. Of course, we started with the sentence with would plus the bare infinitive verb, and the second sentence will be in the past simple tense. If I won $1 million, comma, I could stop working. Instead of would, sometimes we can use could. Okay? If I had more free time, comma, I could travel around the world. So we have here many sentences to practice. So first versus second conditional. What is the difference between them again? If John runs fast, he will win the race. This is still possible to happen. The situation is in the present, and it is likely to happen in the present or in the future. If John ran fast, he would win the race. Here, the verb is in the past, ran here. And the other one, would plus win. This is the second conditional. Here, it's unlikely to happen because John doesn't run fast. He can't run fast. So the situation also is in the present, like the first one. But here, John can run fast, but here, John is a boy who can't run fast at all. So it's unlikely to happen. The difference, first and second conditional. Both conditionals refer to the present and the future, but the difference is about the probability, not the time. The time, both of them are in the present or future. But the first conditional is real and possible situations. It will happen. But the second one is unlikely to happen because, as you see here, John can't run fast at all. That was the end of our lesson. Okay. To sum up, we say that the first conditional is likely to happen. The first sentence with if is in the present simple tense, and the second one, well plus infinitive. The second conditional, it's in the present or the future too, but it's unlikely to happen. The first sentence is in the past simple tense, and the other one is using would plus the bare infinitive verb. Goodbye for now, and see you soon.